Hi there and welcome to Focus on Frisco. Boy, you guys chose a fantastic day to tune in. We're going to be talking about some great housing opportunities here in the town of Frisco. Where I'm standing right now is a work in progress, as you can see, though this is my kind of kitchen. Nothing works. You have all the excuses that you need to head out and not do any cooking. But it is all going to be fixed up. We're at the Mary Ruth place today, and that's between 3rd and 4th on Galena. And my first guest is going to be Hunter Mortensen. He's going to kind of talk about it from the town perspective, give some history on it, why we're here, what's going to be happening, and what's going to be happening in the future. And then Tyler's going to be joining me as well, and he's with NV5, and he's the owner representative for the town of Frisco for the Mary Ruth project. So make sure you stay with us right here on Focus on Frisco. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. As promised, Hunter Mortensen, the Mayor Pro Tem for the town of Frisco, joining me today, as mentioned, over here at the Mary Ruth place.
Yeah, really excited to be in these units finally.
It's got that new house smell, doesn't it?
It's got the new house smell.
Wow.
It's awesome. I like your lead in with the kitchen.
Thank you.
Looks
again,
great,
just my style.
It's super exciting to see these in action and coming together and being almost complete.
And that's the amazing thing, is that how complete they are. And I just live right around the corner, so it's been fascinating to watch it and how quickly it's moved along. I mean, it's really exciting, and I think a lot of people are starting to get excited about it.
Yeah.
So let's start here, Hunter. Let's talk a little bit of history. Let's explain to people who might just be learning about this project what it is, why we're here, and all of that. So
as everyone knows, long time in process to get to where we are today. We're really excited through a lot of community input, housing task force, bringing in all the information from the housing authority, through bringing in the community, say, where's our biggest need? And we could focus on rentals, and that was what we saw. And that's what we're seeing come to fruition here with the Mary Ruth place. There's a parcel of land the town has owned for a long time. We have one of our historic buildings that's always been employee housing incorporated into this project, and are really the history of Frisco and then today.
And certainly giving a shout out to the history of the town, and as you mentioned, the historic building. I just think it's exciting because it's a rental. You know, and that's such a great opportunity, I think, for so many people on so many levels. Why did you guys decide to go the rental route instead of going for a purchase on this project?
So we just, the town just wrapped up, and council approved the funding and purchase of 4 units that we did specify for 2 of those to be for sale units that were then deed restricted.
Right.
So we kind of were able to take care of a little of that early on. In the summer, and really knowing that the need from all the needs assessments we've seen was rentals. And this spot, we are half a block off Main Street. We're in the center of town. It's where our workforce needs to be. It's where they want to be. And so this was the ideal situation for us.
And I think we should talk just a little bit about how it's going to be split up. So the space that we're talking about today, the Mary Ruth place, is going to be 8 units. Total. Now that's going to go from everything from studios to 2 bedrooms.
Yep.
And it's my understanding that there are 4 of those that are set aside specifically for town of Frisco employees.
Correct. So big focus for the town right now is we really want to retain the amazing staff that we have and provide them a place to live, knowing how difficult it is. Yeah. Especially in the modern times with everybody's kind of fighting over the really small amount of available housing stock. So for us to set aside 4 units, additional 4 units for employees of town of Frisco, helps us retain great employees, attract amazing people, and take care of who we have working so hard for the town.
Yeah, and I love it. As somebody, obviously, who got into the workforce as a young person, can you imagine living here in your town, 2 blocks away, basically, from where you work, or a bus ride if you're going over to the peninsula or something like that?
Anywhere.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Bike pass right out the front door.
That's absolutely incredible. So that's 4 of the units, and those are 1 and 2 bedrooms.
Correct. And so there's a really nice mix of kind of a townhouse style and then more of an apartment style as well.
Exactly. And what we're standing in right now, and it's hard to get an idea of it because of the angle that we're at, we're in the studio. So the views that we have are outstanding. The windows are beautiful. I mean, the amount of light that you guys can see coming in from the studio is great. And then as you walk back there, that's where the bathroom and the washer and dryer are on. And each unit has its own washer and dryer.
Yeah, we wanted everything to be as livable. We have storage, we have washer and dryer. You've got to take care of people, and they want to live here. They want to make this a home, and that's important to the council. So
here's a question that you may or may not have an answer to. If it's a rental, is there a time limit on how long that they can rent it? Is it Do you know what I mean? If it's a town employee, obviously while they're employed.
Yep. So
Yeah.
while they're employed, is anytime any of the town's rental stock comes available, we have a lottery and a wait list that we kind of juggle back and forth.
Great.
And it ebbs and flows over the years.
Yeah.
This will help out a lot. And if we're ever in the fortunate position where we don't have a town employee who needs housing, we're willing to put it out for maybe a year-long rental to someone in the 10 Mile Basin, which is what the other 4 units in this development are for employees who work somewhere in the 10 Mile Basin, so hospital, school district, anywhere in the greater Frisco area, and then extending all the way up to Copper Mountain.
That's incredible.
So we're opening it up to the people who really kind of contribute to this community.
To this community specifically,
Yeah, correct.
the town.
Yep.
I think it's really, I'm getting all giddy because it's really exciting. All of the units are coming unfurnished, so you guys get to kind of come in and put your own stamp on it. And so the rate, the market value, I mean, for the rentals, and you'll find a little brochure or a little flyer, as well as going to friscogov.com. So that's going to give you an idea of what the rental rates are, and they're about market rates.
Yep, we tried to make sure that we're making them completely accessible for everybody. And I think, as you said, friscogov.com. We've got open houses coming up next week and the following week, and all the information you might want to know is there. It's right on the front page, easily accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really a great opportunity. So what's going to happen is you can put an application in, and I think all of that is accessible on friscogov.com. You put an application in, that has to be done by October 5th, so write it on your little planner or put it in your phone, however you modern kids do it these days, but put it in there. And then there's going to be a lottery.
Correct.
And how does that work?
Based on the application, kind of the information in there, that goes back to staff. We've had pretty successful kind of rubric for how the lottery best works. I try not to get too much involved in that, so there's a little impartiality and keep it aside.
Got it.
But it's, I know we've had a huge amount of interest in our past few projects, and I assume with this one, especially being brand new in the location,
absolutely,
there's going to be a lot of applications to sort through.
Yeah. So again, the big dates that you want to think about: September 18th is the first open house. The 25th of September is the second open house, and then that gives you time. You've come in, you've looked at the units. You're impressed, you're wowed, you can't wait to get into one of them. You have to put your application in by the 5th, and then the lottery is on the 12th.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's going to be great. I mean, if you think about breaking it up this way, we're going to kind of integrate some of the town staff with other people from other businesses. So it's just going to be a really nice community feel kind of right here in this little block. So
Absolutely.
It's going to be a wonderful part for the
there's nice space out the front. I'm so excited for everybody to come in and see all of this. I think it's really neat.
Yep.
Let's talk really briefly about the 2 other projects that were kind of, I don't want to say squished in with this, but also have some impact on the workforce.
Yeah, so it's been a really busy summer for us. We've had a lot in the works to try to address as much of the housing problem that we can at this point, given the kind of the constraints we have with land and money, which is always what we're up against. But on top of this project, we were able to do the 4 I mentioned at Coyote Village, which are all sold. We have 2 Town of Frisco employees living in 2 of those units, and then 2 went to the market through the Housing Authority lottery. And I know that those people are all loving where they're living, very excited that we were able to do that for them. That put 4 additional deed restricted units on the market in Frisco that never were. We're redoing the entire Public Works Department is getting a huge addition. Long in the works for that. And we've added 2 housing units as part of that as well. So the people we want to have in town when the weather's the worst and we need them the most, the snowplow drivers, the mechanics, we'll be able to provide those employees with a place to live where there's no worries about them getting to work on the days we need them most. And the interest has been huge. When we asked about if you would mind living where you work, everybody said, please, this would be great.
Right.
So if we can get the Public Works guys living in there, I really hope we can get some of our police force and school teachers into these units and just really start to frame the community in a way that's just going to be really special.
Yeah, because you bring up a great point. And I have to say, as you were talking about it, I was thinking to myself, I was talking with Rick and all those Public Works guys almost 20 years ago when I was doing this show. So I'm sorry you guys have had to put up with me for this long. But we were talking about that how great an opportunity that would be to eventually have some space there. But when you bring up that point and being able to have the teachers that are teaching right here in town, here for those big snow days where some of the teachers that are living in Blue River or Leadville or things like that can't get in. I mean, what a great opportunity. And the police force.
Of course, yeah. You've got to keep the most important members of your community here
Right
and
here.
available, and to take care of us and to take care of the kids. And
You bet.
And this is going to be. It's going to be a great project,
It
and I'm
is.
looking forward to see who ends up.
Yeah, and we also always have to bring in that aspect that when you live in town, you spend in town.
Yeah.
And this is such a great way for the community to become a bigger, stronger community with
Yeah.
tax revenues and housing and all of the above.
Yeah, it can only benefit everybody,
Yeah.
and yeah, bringing people closer to their friends, their workplace, and Frisco in a whole, you can't beat it. So it's going to be a lucky.
Wow. Well, I know that this has been on your plate for a long time as town council members, and I
Quite.
know that it's not being cleaned off your plate.
No, we've got a lot of other really exciting projects we're still in the tinkering phase with, so we can't, we're trying to figure out how to best use it. We've got a plan that we're working on, so we're getting there. So there's more to come, which is good to know.
Which is good to know. And I think that puts people at ease. It's great to see some movement forward, and we appreciate all the hard work you guys have put into this.
Great, thank you.
Hunter, thanks very much for coming on.
That was wonderful. Thanks for sharing this with us. This
I'm
is great.
so glad we could do this. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Focus on Frisco. When I come back, Tyler's going to be joining me, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about the units and the actual space aspect. So stay with us.